This episode of The Lew Rockwel Show is sponsored by...
How would the transition to a free society happen? Libertarian media? Lawsuits against the state? How about libertarians elected in increasing numbers, even to the state legislature? All of these things have already happened in New Hampshire. Find out more at freestateproject.org.
This is The Lew Rockwel Show.
Recently, Ron Paul was the keynote speaker at the Jeremy Davis Mises Circle in Houston. Here's his great talk.
Thank you. It's real nice to be here. It was nice I didn't have to drive too far and get on an airplane. That was nice too. So welcome to Houston. For those who have come from outside of Houston, and it's good to be here, I would like to introduce my wife. My wife Carol is with me today. She had to show up because she played hooky a couple times this summer, and so she has to make up for that. But she's doing well, and I'm very pleased with that. But I am very pleased to come and speak. And Lew, he may have given me a topic, but he didn't announce it, so that means I can say anything I want, right? Well, I do have some good news though, and the good news is this: that it is very clear that when governments and government officials act, outside the law, it's an encouragement for individuals to act outside the law. And if you're looking for a revolution, believe me, there's going to be a lot of activity going on. But just think about it. We could start with this little insurance, well-endowed insurance program called Social Security, run honestly and ethically and above board. But lo and behold, they complain with a guy like Madoff. Madoff goes and does the same thing, But isn't it wonderful who's going to be Secretary of Treasury? Isn't this neat? I mean, he doesn't believe in paying taxes. So what the heck? What is going to happen these days? I mean, we may truly see some exciting times ahead. But no, he believes in collecting taxes now, and he'll probably be very ruthless in collection of taxes. But obviously, it does make a strong point. Now, a lot of you may have seen a bumper sticker that I have in my office, and because it's been on the internet, and yesterday I had some young kids in the office, not too unusual, and the students came in and they wanted to get their picture with the bumper sticker. Of course, he allowed me to be in the picture too. But this bumper sticker is very simple. It says, "Don't steal, the government hates competition." And they don't like competition. They don't like competition in running your life. They want to run your life for you. They don't want competition running the economy. They want to run the economy. And of course, they don't like anybody to run their own affairs overseas. They think they're capable and have this obligation to run everybody's affairs overseas as well. So it boils down to a very simple philosophy of what we need. We need to get the government, out of our lives, out of our bedrooms, out of our walls, off our back, and out of foreign countries. And in the meantime, just get rid of the Federal Reserve. Over the many years of speaking out against the Federal Reserve and sound money, it had to be a unique crowd. Those conspiracy nuts and these people to bring up the subject. Yes, we should get out of the UN, and yes, we should get rid of the Federal Reserve. And in that special crowd, you would get these cheers, but something has happened. Something dramatic has happened, and it's happening on the campuses of this country. And some people give me credit. I don't take the credit. I give credit to the academicians, the many people who you've heard speak here, and groups like the Mises Institute who have changed attitudes. And it isn't just a few anymore. It isn't just a unique crowd that believes in the conspiracy. I mean, it's so dangerous now that it has infiltrated college campuses. I mean, I couldn't have possibly influenced these college kids. I mean, one person can't do that. So some of these ideas have infiltrated, and it's getting to be very serious. because you all know the story about what happened at the University of Michigan. I mean, that was startling. It scared me because here I am. It was after the debates over in Detroit. We went over to Ann Arbor, and I got there a little late, and there was a little bit of agitation and frustration, but it was dark. And but there was a large crowd there. I couldn't see the crowd very well. It was that dark, but they said there were a lot of young people there. So I went on and gave my talk and alluded to the monetary system and the Federal Reserve, and all of a sudden a bunch of them started burning Federal Reserve notes. And then they started chanting, "End the Fed, end the Fed." You know, I mean, where did this all come from? So I'm on the receiving of that information and that message. They were telling me to end the Fed. So I said, well, that does sound like a good idea. So we have promptly introduced once again the bill to end the Fed. So. But when we had our little rally up in Minneapolis, along with, I think it was another political party down the street had another rally and a convention. We had ours, and lo and behold, we had speakers there that had the audacity to mention Austrian economics. Believe it or not, they started cheering Austrian economics. I mean, what is going on? There's great progress going on. In Washington, you can see some progress. They're thinking seriously about what's happening because guess what? They're scared, and rightfully so, and they don't understand what's happening. And Lew has alluded to it, the fact that other members do now ask questions. Before, it was usually chuckling and laughing and forgetting about it and say, there he goes again. but now they will come up, and they're very serious about asking it, because frequently the people on the financial stations of all places, I mean, they'll come up and they'll say, well, you know, he predicted this and predicted that. It wasn't that I predicted it. I just read what a lot of you people write about and learn how Austrian economics works. So it isn't a great thing to predict. You know, it's like it takes a genius to predict that if you print a lot of money, it loses its value. You know, now that's really brilliant. So, and then this whole idea that a bubble is forming. A lot of you in this room probably remember the name and know the name Jim Grant. And Jim Grant is a good Austrian economist and a good writer. And I invited him down to talk to some members of Congress right after I went back into Congress in 1997. And he came and we had a small group. In 1997, he took his whole time talking about the horrendous debt being built up by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I mean, we all knew about it and talked about it, but it was really on his mind. But once again, that doesn't tell you that we know a whole lot about timing, because things were bad in 1997, 1998. There was a bubble, malinvestment, too much debt, had to have a correction. But how many times has it been papered over? I mean, they've been able to achieve it. I look at the financial system dating back to the date that Lew mentioned, August 15th, 1971. And then we might have been forced into a real serious monetary reform, but it didn't happen. The confidence in the dollar was restored. We had an adjustment. Prices went up, and we went on. But in every crisis since, in every recession, they've always been able to do exactly what they had been doing: print, spend more money, and run up more debt. And you gotta understand from where they're coming from, because it worked to that degree. You know, the recession would go down and it would come back. This last go around, though, with Greenspan and Bernanke, I mean, especially in the year 2000, that little recession that came, it's this anticipation. Before, they used to wait, oh, well, the economy is getting too robust. The treatment for a robust economy is recession. Of course, you know, a robust economy should be good. But anyway, they would bring on the recession. But this last 10 years, they never allowed the recession to come. They anticipated, and every time it takes more and more and more. I blow the blah, blah, blah.